Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're once again going to be talking about that upcoming major winter storm for the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Great Plains, and surrounding regions. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting store in the description and the pinned comment down below, and also our very awesome Patreon page where we're actually going to be taking a look at that initial snowstorm. There's going to be kind of a mini snowstorm before this very big one. We're actually going to be making a post about that today, so you can check that out in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, how much snowfall do you think is the maximum anyone will be seeing with this upcoming major snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're going to be taking a look, obviously, at that simulated radar for that first mini snowstorm. So this initial frame is going to be around, I would say this is maybe today, this noontime, afternoon time frame. And as you can see, there is some snow showers going on for the northern plains there, some of the Rockies as well. Let's just move this on towards about 7 p.m. tonight. And as you can see, we're actually going to have some snow showers for the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, alongside some actual moderate snowfall going on potentially. Let's move it on one more frame, and as you can see, it begins to move out through Michigan. We do see some snowfall there as well, though, in kind of a moderate fashion, I would say, from the more northern portions and also portions of the upper peninsula there. Again, we're going to be making a Patreon post about that one, so if you want to check that out, you can by going to our description and our pinned comment down below and checking out our Patreon page where we're going to have a really awesome post about this storm. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at that major winter storm as it develops over the southwest and eventually moves into the plains, upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes. Alright, now here we are taking a look at about, I would say, 7 a.m. here on Monday, and our storm is starting out. We see snowfall for California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado there, seeing some light to moderate snowfall. California, likely heavy snowfall. Let's go ahead and take it to approximately 2 or 3 a.m. here on Tuesday, December 29th. And as you can see, we see some pretty widespread or spotty, moderate to heavy snowfall going on for the Four Corner States and even in through the plains there, Nebraska, South Dakota, getting involved here with this storm. Let's take it to about, I would say, probably about 4 p.m. here on Tuesday, December 29th. And as you can see, our low pressure center is located right over the southeastern tip there of Colorado. And then we see a lot of moderate to heavy snowfall for northern Nebraska there, portions of Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota, with some serious ice going on for Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and portions of Iowa as well. Now, the one thing I want to tell you is that this storm could move around. We could see some differences here. We're still about 70 hours out or so until this point. So I really want you guys to pay attention to the fact that this could shift in different ways, and I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with this one. Obviously, coming up soon in the coming days, we will be making actual snowfall forecast maps for this storm, and that's when you're going to get my official thoughts on what this storm is going to do for your region. Until then, we're just going to continue to track the models for this potentially very major snowstorm. All right, now what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on in just a moment towards about maybe 2 or 3 a.m. on Wednesday, December 30th, where we're actually going to see that snow get even heavier, especially for the upper Midwest, as many inches of snow are going to fall for that region. Alright, now here we are taking a look at about 2 or 3 a.m. here on Wednesday, like I said, on December 30th, and as you can see, we see some very heavy snowfall going on for portions of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even Michigan as well. Again, probably inches and inches of snow falling by this point. And then eventually, as we reach maybe about 4 p.m. or so on Wednesday, December 30th there, it's coming to an end, but we do see snow showers along that very strong cold front coming through. Again, I am anticipating the possibility for severe weather here along that cold front on the more southern extent. I would say Texas, Oklahoma potentially as well, Arkansas, Louisiana, and then also the southeast states as it moves along. Let's move that towards about 2 or 3 a.m. on Thursday, December 31st, and as you can see, again, that very strong cold front there moving across the United States. We see snowfall on the back end of it and severe weather on the front. Again, this is very reminiscent of what we just had on Christmas Eve, and that was a very potent system. This one's a little bit further west this time around, but really it's a very similar setup. Very interesting scenario we have on our hands here. And as you can see, eventually by about maybe 12 p.m. on Friday, New Year's Day, January 1st, we eventually see a snowstorm develop behind that and actually potentially bring some very heavy snowfall to some of the central United States. That is very far out though, so we're going to be watching that and taking that with a major grain of salt, obviously, because again, it's pretty far out. But we will watch and see what happens with that. Now, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to move on and we're going to take a look at what the GFS has to say. We're going to get a second opinion there, and then eventually also our Canadian model. We're going to see what that one has to say. And then we're going to get into the modeled snowfall totals according to all three of these models, all coming up in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at about 12 p.m. here on Monday, which is tomorrow from the time I'm making this video, December 28th. As you can see, just like the European model, it starts out there in the southwest, bringing some moderate to heavy snowfall to those regions. Eventually, though, as you can see, by about maybe 1 or 2 p.m. here on Tuesday, December 29th, we're receiving moderate to heavy snowfall there for the northern plains. Also, that ice for Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, also on this model. Again, things like that can change this far out, so we will be watching that closely. But by the time we reach maybe about, I would say 10 p.m. here on Tuesday, December 29th, we get some moderate to heavy snowfall still going on for the upper Midwest. The northern plains there, still some ice there for Nebraska and Iowa. This is going to be a nasty, nasty storm according to both the European model and the GFS model. We will be watching that closely, like I said, to see which model looks more correct and such, and watch the trends with you guys. Now, as we take a look at about 7 a.m. here on Wednesday, December 30th, you can see this mostly moves into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes there, where it's going to be pretty exclusive for those regions. Eventually, though, it does, as we reach about New Year's Day, we see a major ice storm here, again, probably about 7 a.m. here on New Year's Day, for many, many regions there in those pinks. So this one doesn't really have a major snowstorm develop, but it does have a major ice storm develop for many, many regions here. This could play out in so many different ways. I mean, that's 130 hours out, so we're going to be watching that closely, although the models are all over the place with that kind of second half to this system. So we will continue to track that over the coming, I would say, 5 days or so until that day arrives, when we're going to be getting a very much more accurate look at what that's going to do. Now, let's take a look at what that Canadian model has to say, what looks different. And we're starting out by about maybe 4 p.m. here on Monday, December 28th, like I said, and this is pretty much tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. It literally is tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. I don't know why I said pretty much. It literally is. And we see moderate to heavy snowfall for the Rockies, Four Corner States, portions of the plains as well. And as we reach about 7 p.m. here on Tuesday, December 29th, we can see that there is some moderate to heavy snowfall for the plains, the upper Midwest, and portions of the Ohio Valley, as well as this model keeps it much further south, and we see a lot more regions get snowfall there, including Chicago, probably Cleveland as well, maybe Detroit on that model. And then eventually we see that front develop just like all the other models. It does have a different tilt to it. It definitely looks like it's tilted, because you can see it's pretty much from Texas all the way to Illinois, so it has definitely a bit of a tilt there compared to the other models. Some ice, some snow, some severe weather, just like all the other models. And eventually it does develop that second snowstorm, just like all the other models, here by about 12 p.m. here on Friday, December 1st, New Year's Day. So all of the models have that same feature, which obviously leads me to believe it's certainly going to probably appear that way. By the time we reach that date, it's just going to be possibly different than what these models are showing. But I think there will be a storm, and that's the important part. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on towards that total snowfall map according to all three of these models, and then we're going to close out the video. All right, now here we are, taking a look at that total snowfall. First off, according to our European model, if you're anywhere in the grays, we're taking a look at about a dusting, if anything. In the blues, we're taking a look at about a couple of inches to perhaps 6 inches. In the purples, 6 to 10 inches, and in those pinks, we're looking at 10 to 20 inches of snow. As you can see, we don't have as much of those 20-inch plus regions. We do have that there for Colorado and Wyoming, but that is for pretty much exclusively very high elevation areas where nobody lives or even really goes to, quite frankly. So that's going to be borderline not really going to affect people very much at all. Maybe some ski resorts are going to get more snowfall, but that's to be expected. So generally 10 to 15 inches of snow seems to be the maximum here according to our European model. Let's just take a look at that GFS model now, and as you can see, this one also looks quite similar, actually impressively similar here as I'm just switching between the two. So yeah, generally 10 to 15 inches of snow in that bullseye. For now, they have that set up over specifically I would say Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin there, but also portions of South Dakota and Nebraska as well, and potentially Michigan. And then our Canadian model, and this one really has it scattered about kind of in a messy fashion. And generally, I usually side more with the European model and the GFS model anyway. So yes, we pay attention to what the Canadian model is saying, but at this point, it's an outlier. We will watch it, but kind of from an arm's length. We're going to pay more attention to the European model and the GFS model based on just their track record versus the Canadian model there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's get right into the comment of the day. I asked you guys yesterday, do you think this storm will even happen? And Falcon Doip said yes, and probably just around where the Euro model is showing. So I definitely agree. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Sebastian Tao, John Bembenek, Justin Quantrell, James Wade, Dovi Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry Lepan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Aiden Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Sidney Klein, Alicia Davis, and Mark J. If you would like to be on this Patreon end screen, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.